If you want to gain thousands of Chiral Crystals and reach the cap in the fastest time possible, you are in the right place. I spent several days optimizing these Chiral Crystal farming methods so I can give you the quickest and most efficient spots that will save you the guesswork and a lot of time. Following these optimized methods will let you earn from 37k to a whopping more than 40k plus worth of Chiral Crystals per cycle. For you to understand why you should be farming these crystals, it is essential to understand first the benefits that you will be getting if you have tons of these crystals. Chiral Crystals are mainly used to build roads and monorails, vital for connecting settlements, speeding up deliveries, and hauling up materials from mines to the Magellan. Monorails in particular can carry heavy loads and often link major hubs just like roads do. If you plan on rebuilding Australia or fully upgrading the network, you need a lot of Chiral Crystals. Chiral Crystals also power essential gear like the floating carrier and coffin board, which is my personal favorite so far, which lets Sam zoom across harsh terrain and even glide over tar lakes. But here's the real kicker: for every 1000 CG of crystals, Sam's loss gets reduced by 1 kilogram up to 99 kilogram at the 10k cap. And that's free weight capacity right there. Combine that with skeletons and anti-gravity gear, and a 350 plus load capacity becomes easy at late game. Time for the actual methods, and extracting or claiming Chiral Crystals from shelters is the fastest way to get tons of them, especially in early game. You don't have access to the best spots so far in the game, so this is going to be your best bet so far. There's no need for an actual build to make this method work, since you just need Sam to claim Chiral Crystals from different shelters he comes across. I usually do this when I am done leveling in a certain area, and I will just go extract all of the Chiral Crystals available on these shelters and move on. And they often add all kinds of raw materials as well, including Chiral Crystals, so when you increase your connection levels to them, which is, by the way, I made a separate guide on how to max out shelter connections fast and each 5-star easy in this video. You can find it in the description or by clicking the card here. Do this as well if you want to get all of the best gears and weapons early. Another general farming method is visiting mines, since mines in this game often have a lot of tar pits around them and spawn a lot of Chiral Crystals within them. You can simply collect all of the Chiral Crystals around the mine and stock up pretty quickly. The first two mines early on are the Smoke Hill mines, which is close to the government's base, and the other one, which is the F1 mine that can be found by just progressing in the story. Of course, you can loot every Chiral Crystals you come across when out in the world, but this is just a bonus and not an actual farming method. Things will go spicier in here, as the Golden BT farm is one of the best methods when farming Chiral Crystals in the game. This method will allow the player to hunt Golden BTs lurking and spawning in a specific area where you can continuously farm. These Golden BTs drop a lot of Chiral Crystals, and you can easily take a lot of them in this method along with regular BTs for extra gains. You will be accessing this spot when you reach East Fort Knot. East Fort Knot is the nearest big settlement near the farming location, while the Ghost Hunter shelter for the small one. And I am showing the actual location on the screen right now. To make this farming method efficient, I have a specific build for it, but to be clear, I will be suggesting late game gear in here, which streamlines the whole process, especially at endgame. But if you don't have some of the gear that I will be suggesting, just use what you have and it's not the end of the world. Use any kind of MP shelling weapon that you have, but I usually go for the assault rifle just to activate the off-roader's weapons. I am also wearing the climbing gloves so I can easily pick up all of the crystals drops while driving the off-roader. For the backpack attachment, equip extra batteries along with mini batteries so your climbing gloves will stay powered during your runs. Speaking of the off-roader, this thing is a must for this method, which streamlines the whole process. You don't need the Chiral cannon for this method, it is simply overkill. You can simply have 2 heavy machine guns and it is much efficient that way. The firepower of a single machine gun is more than enough to take out any kind of BT in this area with the help of your main weapon. Slot in 6 level 2 battery packs as well for more energy since you want to stay longer in the field. Make sure to bring level 2 PCCs with you to build a generator and a safe house for charging and ammo replenishing purposes later on. Make sure to bring raw materials as well to build the actual shelter, or you can entirely skip this if there's an already built safe house made by other players like in my case. A safe house can let you spawn BTs by sleeping in it just in case they don't appear on the actual spot. Also, safe houses are useful for repairs since you'll be soaking in timefall for a significant amount of time. The actual method is pretty simple. This specific location that I'm showing on the screen right now is going to be your hunting grounds for BTs. You need to take out every BT that you come across in this area. Take them out by simply firing a shot to activate and direct your 2 heavy machine guns to do the rest of the work. Your main objective in here is to farm all of the golden BTs lurking in the area since the gold ones drops a lot of Chiral Crystals, which is a huge steal since these BTs are easy to kill and manage. Once this golden BT dies, just pick up every Chiral Crystals with your climbing gloves and no need to get off the pickup off-roader. And there are a lot of golden BTs in this area, so you'll be farming a lot of Chiral Crystals in the process. While the other BTs in the area are just a bonus, so take them out as well for more crystal gains. You will find all sorts of BTs in here like the baby ones, the regular BT ones, and the medium ones as well. But one thing to note is that there are also watcher type BTs in this area. Watcher types are the tall and large ones, but this type is truly weird since there are watcher types that are really easy to kill and drop a lot of Chiral Crystals, and luckily all of the watcher types in this area are the weak ones. Watchers at mid to end game are mostly tanky and requires at least a Chiral cannon for you to one-shot them and oftentimes drop a small amount of crystals. If your climbing gloves run out of energy, build a generator so you can charge Sam's battery and the off-roaders as well. And as mentioned, you need a safe house around this area so you can repair the off-roader and replenish your ammo as well. And also to spawn the BTs just in case they don't appear in the area or when it is not raining. Just keep sleeping to pass the time in the game until it rains so they can spawn. Doing all of this in just 20 minutes, you are looking at almost 12k worth of Chiral Crystals, and that is a lot. While wiping all of the BTs in the area will give you 12,900 to 13k worth of Chiral Crystals, which takes around 25 to 30 minutes, which is super nice. And yes, the BTs here are finite, so after wiping them all out, you need to wait around more than 2 hours for them to spawn, just like the other methods on this list. I will dive into how respawning works later on, so stay tuned for that. If you're getting value so far, subscribe to the channel. Liking the video and engaging in the comments helps me a lot. Join our Discord server and discuss role-playing games such as this, and I appreciate your support. This is where the list go crazier since you can easily earn up to 11k plus of Chiral Crystals within 12 to 13 minutes. This method will require the player to hunt Chiral creatures, which are the golden rare creatures that drop a significant amount of Chiral Crystals. Hunting these creatures is by far the fastest and most efficient way to farm Chiral Crystals in the game, so pay attention to this one. Not only that, a zipline network will take you straight to another spot where you can farm floater BTs for more Chiral Crystals, combining 2 spots at once. Find the first location of these creatures around the animal shelter and near the Magellan's fast travel location. I'm showing the exact location on the screen right now, and I will also highlight the exact area of search when you are farming. I am also showing the suggested and optimal path progression on the screen right now, so you will know exactly how you will proceed when farming these creatures. And yes, this method requires a farming build and setup for you to get the most Chiral Crystals possible. First is you need a boost skeleton to increase your movement speed and do enhanced jumps, so your travel time will significantly faster when traveling between locations. A blood grenade too is what I am using to take out each of the Chiral creatures. Don't use regular weapons to shoot these creatures because if you shoot them, they will split into smaller one and run and disappears. And using blood grenade too is suggested since the blood mist can kill all of the small ones as well 100% all of the time after the initial burst. I haven't tried using blood grenade once since I believe grenade 2s release a much wider mist, but I may be wrong on this, so you can test it out personally. Comment it down if you have this information. Make sure to bring an assault rifle with you for later use as well. This is completely optional, but you need access to zip lines as well. So that means you need access to PCC level 2s, and if you don't have this, don't bother and enhance the method later on. Before we dive into the actual method, we need to set up a zipline network to connect the Chiral creature spot to the floaters area. I promise you, the effort will greatly pay off in the entire game. I'm showing my actual zipline network on the screen right now. The network will start at the Magellan and will pass the actual Chiral creature spots, then on the edge of the area, and eventually will lead you to the giant tar lake located just below the animal shelter. Once the zipline network has been set up, the actual method is pretty simple. Sleep and start the method at nighttime because I found that these creatures often respawn much faster at nighttime. Head to the actual location and take out your first Chiral creature in the area. Before throwing every blood grenade, make sure that the Chiral creature is in the center of the grenade's blast radius to take out all of the small creatures 100% of the time. Loot all of your Chiral crystals and head to the nearest highest ground, which is the tall rocks where the watchtower is located for this instance. Listen to this carefully. Once you are on top of the rock formation, manually save your game. After saving your game, access your main menu and select Load Last Save Data. The reason why this is needed is that every time you throw a grenade, the nearby Chiral creatures will start to run away. Saving and loading the game will force all of the runaways to respawn without the need to exit the area. If that is clear, continuing the method now, and after loading your save, you will notice that the Chiral creatures are back in action. So take out another one. Get your Chiral crystals and head back to the higher ground and save and load your game. Do this method over and over by following the progression path that I am showing again on the screen right now until you get all of the Chiral creatures in the area. Another huge tip is if you don't want to save and load every time you kill a Chiral creature, you can simply head back to the higher ground and use a watchtower, which I set up in the area. Or you can use Dalman Scam to spot the ones that did not run away. This is a pretty handy feature. Then after locating the present Chiral creatures, you can go for multiple ones and head back to the higher ground when you're done, then save and load your progress. Then scan the area once again to not miss a single Chiral creature before moving on. I'm not going to show you the whole farming run here since it will be jarring to watch, especially you need to save and load most of the time to save time. If you want to watch the full run, watch my uncut version for all of the methods on a separate video, which is linked in the description or by clicking the card here. If you follow the progression path and steps that I suggested, there are exactly 11 Chiral creatures in the area that you can easily farm. And let's say you've taken them all out. Each run lasts around 11 to 12 minutes with loading times included from the save and load strategy, and killing 11 Chiral creatures, you are expecting a whopping 9,800 to 10k plus worth of Chiral crystal per run. Your mileage may vary since the drops vary as well, but these are the average so far as per testing. If you are following the channel, I love to count your hourly gains as well, but since the spawning of these creatures works differently in this game, it's not possible for me to do so. We are not done yet, and remember the zipline network that I asked you to build when starting this method. Access the zipline network since you need to head to the giant tar lake just below the area. It may take a while, but it's fun to ride the ziplines, at least in my opinion. After riding the ziplines, you will notice that there are floaters near the lake. After the last zipline, start slowly shooting the red floaters with your assault rifle. And be careful not to kill them completely. Make sure that the other normal floaters are near the red ones before completely destroying them. So once they explode, the normal floaters will be caught in the explosion as well. Do this strategy for all of the floaters in the area, and each run lasts around 2 minutes to 2 minutes and 30 seconds and get an average of 1,400 to 1,500 Chiral crystals, which is a nice bonus. So if you count your gains from the Chiral creatures, you are expecting a whopping an average of 11k worth of Chiral crystals. If you find the previous method crazy, nothing beats the next one, as the Chiral creatures near the architect shelter gives you up to a whopping 15k Chiral crystals per run, which is a lot. I'm showing the location on the screen right now, along with the area of search when farming. Compared to the previous method, the Chiral creatures in this area are not spread and concentrated around the tar pits in the area. For the farming build, nothing changed about the build, and we will be using the same one compared to the previous method. Remember, you will need a lot of PCC level 2s since you will be building another network on this one. and the materials to create a safe house near the farming location to pass the time. The starting point of this method will always be from the Magellan's fast travel location near the pizza chef's shelter. Build a zipline network from the foot of the mountain to its summit, then across the field, all the way across the farming spot. I believe that it will only require 3 to 4 zip lines for you to easily reach the key location for this method. Now that the zipline network is ready, since we are dealing with chiral creatures once again, nothing has changed from our staple methods compared to the previous spot. If you skip to this chapter and missed the methods, go back to the previous method to learn the exact steps that I am referring to. But essentially, you will just be saving and reloading your save every time you take out a chiral creature to make them spawn again. This will eliminate the need to exit and re-enter the area for them to respawn, which saves you a lot of time. Compared to the previous spot, this specific location offers a crazy amount of chiral creatures, which is 18 to be exact. And again, I'm not going to show you the whole run to save time, but as mentioned, find my raw uncut run in the description. So let's say you already nailed 18 chiral creatures in the process. Oftentimes, this nets me a whopping 15k chiral crystals on average, and runs usually last around 14 to 15 minutes. Truly the best spot in the game. One thing to note is that since this is a BT area with annoying strong watchers, you can build and access a safe house near the spot to reset the time to make the BT disappear. Listen to this carefully, and all of the key targets that I mentioned so far in all of the methods are finite and do take a while for them to respawn. As per multiple testing, it takes more than 2 hours of active time in the game to respawn the golden BTs and the chiral creatures. Active time means that you are actively playing the game. I've tried resting a bunch of times with no success and trying to hasten the cooldown process, but I failed to do so. So it is safe to say that sleeping does not affect the process. As per multiple testing, the 2+ hour mark is pretty accurate. Sometimes it takes around 2 hours and 30 minutes plus for the key targets to respawn. So while you are waiting, proceed to the main story or do side deliveries and etc. So by the time the required time passes, head back to the spots to start farming once again. Since our targets are finite and do respawn for a while, I highly suggest doing all of the methods at once in one go. If you are already at the late game and already have access to all of the spots mentioned, this will give you the best gains per hour, since once all of the spots are exhausted, they will all be available once again after 2 hours of waiting. So you can do another full run for all of the spots. So the best way to do this is to follow my specific farming route, which is farming the golden BT spot first. After destroying all of the BTs in the area, fast travel to the pizza chef's shelter and access the zipline network to the architect spot. Step 3 is farming all 18 chiral creatures in the architect spot, and once it's done, zip back to the Magellan's location and fast travel to the animal shelter. Next is heading to the chiral creatures farming spot near the Magellan's location and get all 11 chiral creatures. Step 5 is to access our previously built zipline to the Tar Lake and farm the floaters. The last step is waiting for more than 2 hours of active time in the game while doing normal deliveries or proceeding to the main story. Once it's past 2 hours, repeat the steps all over again for more chiral crystals. And doing all of the steps and methods so far will grant you a total of a mind-blowing 40k worth of chiral crystals per cycle. So you will reach the cap after doing the whole cycle for 2 to 3 times. But what if you want to easily max out your shelter connections to 5 stars and get the best early weapons in the game as fast as possible? Click on this video and I will catch you on the next one.